Ooh, child. I'm gonna be really real with y'all. The area of my life that I am most growing in is discipline. Discipline for sure. Discipline and consistency. Because I feel like that has held me back a lot. I feel like I could have been, we always feel like we could be so much farther at this, at that.
Yeah.
That's my thing. Like, I feel like I could be so much further in life if I had more discipline and more consistency. Because it's like, it's easy to just get lazy.
Yeah.
Or, not want to put in the work. Or, feel like you're putting in that, telling yourself you're putting in enough work, but you're really not.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's the area that I'm constantly growing in.
Discipline and consistency.
Yeah.
Those are major.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, hey, what's going on, guys? This is the Constantly Growing Podcast. My name is Summer. This is my husband, Devon. And we're back again for another episode. So, we've been together for 11 years, but married 3. So, thank you. We know a thing or two about a thing or two, but we're still evolving. So, you're going to laugh, grow, and evolve with us. Yes. You with us. So as we learn more experiences and share more things, like today, we're just going to constantly grow. So today we have a special guest. We have Miss Jasmine Ahnie. Yes. She is an actor. You could find her on Tales, Boomerang, and the Hunger Games, the Mockingjay version.
Yes.
Yep. She is also a model, a phenomenal model. She just did this big show with DTLR. She looked absolutely beautiful, stunning. Okay, can't you tell? Yeah. And also, she is an entrepreneur. So she has, yes. And her brand is called The Creator's Brand. So she has amazing like sweatshirts and shirts and mugs, and they represent people from different industries. So not just actors, but stylists, radio hosts, nail artists.
Anything creative.
Anything
creative, we got it for you.
So y'all need to go to that site.
Okay.
What's the site?
www.thecreatorsbrand.com.
Can you tell us about yourself first?
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Before we get into that.
Oh, you want to pivot to that?
Yeah, let's
take it back a little bit.
Let's take it back.
Okay. All right, I jumped right in.
Wind it back.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna kind of reiterate what you already said.
Okay.
My name is Jasmine Ahnie.
Uh-huh.
I am an actor, model, entrepreneur.
Yes.
Originally from New York. Went to school in Augusta.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've just always had a love for the arts. I think, like growing up in New York, you kind of cultivate that naturally. There's like all types of stuff to do, museums, art exhibits, all types of artistic events going on. So I kind of knew from a young age that I wanted to be in some type of creative industry. I started taking acting classes when I was like 8. Really? So I was like one of those kids who knew they wanted to be an actor. You know what I'm saying? So been going at it for a minute.
Yeah.
So now here we are, still going at it.
So as this kid from New York, right? What part of New York?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Hey,
okay. Don't play. You rep DC like that.
Oh,
yeah. But, okay, so growing up in Brooklyn, like, what did that look like? What was like your family culture like in Brooklyn? And then did you perform in front of your family? Because you always knew you wanted to be an actor. So like, Jasmine, can you do that?
It's funny because I never dealt with like that typical black family like put on right now that you gotta perform for the family.
Do that little dance you was doing in the house.
Exactly.
Come on.
It's so funny. Like I never experienced that, but I was always like a clown. Like I was a class clown. I used to get in trouble for school, for laughing and playing jokes and all that type of stuff. But no, it was fun. I really had a really good childhood. Like I'm so grateful for like my mom. I was raised by my mom and my grandmother.
Wow. Okay.
And I've had my dad in my life too, but I was raised by my mom and my grandmother, and they just created such like a loving and accepting environment. My childhood was amazing. Yeah, so it's like I was spoiled because I was the only child, you know. So anything I wanted, I had it. Anything that I wanted to do, they helped me to pursue it. So acting, I used to take modeling classes back in the day too. I used to take dance back in the day.
Yeah.
So it was just like anything I wanted to do, they made it happen for me. So
wow.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay.
From being from New York, what's your favorite New York dance as a child?
Ooh, favorite New York dance as a child? That's a good question. I have never been asked that.
Okay, I'll give you mine. I like the toe wop with it. Hey,
You want to know something?
Hey.
I love the toe wop. So I think this is because I like to party, right? Anytime this comes on at a party, I'm there. I'm in it. I really have an appreciation for the chicken noodle soup. Chicken noodle soup. That's why clear it out. Hey, clear it out. I think that might be my favorite one.
Okay. I was on the chicken noodle soup hard, but then the Aunt Jackie came out back in the day.
Oh, that was from New York. I don't think I realized that.
Oh yeah,
I love that one.
I was like, ooh, because one of my teammates, when I was, I think it was like 13, 14, he started doing it. I was like, hey, what's that? He was like, that's the Aunt Jackie. So then he sent me, because you know people used to be on like the YouTube heavy, so he sent me like the music video, but. The chicken noodle soup, when Dora the Explorer was crushing that, I was like, oh, yes, sir.
Yes.
Oh, I did not see that.
I remember that.
I
remember that.
Okay.
See?
Look it up after this.
Okay.
I know a little something about a little something.
You know a little flame.
He knows something about here. Okay, so you mentioned that your mom and your grandmother raised you, and they gave you this amazing childhood.
Yes.
So I've seen your mom. She is absolutely beautiful. And to see you guys together, you have such a beautiful relationship.
Yes.
I could tell you guys are super close.
That's my dog.
Yes.
Yes.
What you're doing, is that something that she was ever interested in as well? Like modeling and acting? Because I'm like, she is gorgeous.
My mom actually used to model back in the day. So she used to do all types of fashion shows. I still have yet to see any footage. She has footage apparently in the garage, but it's in some boxes. We got to get them VHSs out because she did used to model back in the day. She also...
VHSs.
Yeah, right. Okay. She also had an interest in acting, but she just never really pursued it. But yeah, so she kind of, her start was kind of in entertainment as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was wondering, you know, sometimes our parents can be, especially when you're raised by a single mom, because I am too. So, and I'm an only child, right? So my mom used to model back in the day.
Okay.
So
I saw a picture. She was giving that face. She was with my camera at? She gave a face.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
shout out to Miss Tarsha.
Yes.
But you know, so subconsciously, I don't know if like they kind of, those juices flow off onto us, or it's just like, you know, God allowing them to be such an inspiration, or just to carry it out a little bit further. You know how sometimes it's like somebody's gonna plant the seed, then somebody else has to water it, somebody else has to make it grow, or flourish, whatever. So it could just be that you're just continuing that whole thing.
It could be in the DNA.
I know she's proud of you.
Yes.
I think it's kind of crazy that you guys went to high school together. You guys both did dancing and acting, but then like your backgrounds are kind of similar.
That is interesting.
Raised by you know, single parents and grandparents and things like that. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys knew that about each other already.
No. I didn't.
But,
no.
But
right. Here we are 15 years later figuring it out.
That's very interesting.
That's crazy. And then like, because when I saw your relationship with your mom at your event that you had recently, I was like, I get it. You know, because everybody doesn't have that. You know,
and I'm so grateful. Because I realized that everyone doesn't have that.
Yeah. And you know, sometimes I feel like, now I'm not gonna like assume this, right? Because you know, your dad was obviously in your life, like you said. Mine wasn't really, but I feel like I didn't really miss it because she was such this powerhouse of a mom and gave me so much space to be myself. Sounds like how Miss Wendy is for you. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to know, like, how did, you know, what did that feel like?
So my mom is my absolute best friend. I've always had a great relationship with my dad.
Yeah.
But like we're talking about, I
Yeah.
was raised by my mom. So it's like I never... First of all, let me put it like this. My mom always wanted to make sure that me and my dad had a good relationship because she didn't have that with her dad. And she didn't... Well, she had it later on in life when she was like maybe in her 30s, right before he passed away.
What?
So she didn't have a relationship with her dad her whole entire life until right before he passed.
Okay.
So with that, she wanted to make sure that no matter what happened between the two of them, that I always had a great relationship with my dad.
Wow.
So there was really nothing to miss.
Yeah.
Because even though he wasn't in the house,
Yeah.
he was still in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. But with that being said, also like my mom also was like the bomb.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing that I ever needed.
Yeah.
There was nothing that I ever wanted for. So she definitely was just my heart.
Just everything.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
You know why I made that face when you said that? My mom spent time with her dad right before he passed, and they didn't have the best relationship.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, that's
crazy.
crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. It's about to turn into a different type of episode.
I won't let that happen. So being from New York, how old were you when you moved to Augusta?
So I was 9, about to turn 10, and that's pretty early. But I always had that connection to home.
Okay.
So it was never a thing where it's like, oh, you're a Georgia girl now. No, I'm from New York. But I think, like, when I moved here, I was young, but I would spend the school year in Georgia, and then every summer and every holiday, I was back in New York.
Facts.
So it was like I still had that connection. So it's like I never lost touch with home because I was always there. So it's like any friends that I had that had a summer birthday, I was missing it because I was back home.
Wow.
Thanksgiving, some Christmases, any other holidays, it's like I was always back home. So it's kind of like I was living in both places, but just doing school in Georgia.
So how was that transition? Because I know for me, when I first got to Augusta, I actually liked Augusta when I first moved, but it was a lot different. At first, I couldn't sleep because it was so quiet at night.
Where are you from?
I'm from D.C.
Oh, you're from D.C.
So going from D.C. and Summer knows, like right outside the house I grew up in, there's a bus stop. So the bus is running all night long.
Yeah.
You hear S2 destination, and you hear where the bus is going. You hear it all night long.
I love that.
So coming to Augusta, at that point in time, it was very quiet and it was different. It was a lot slower, but I enjoyed it. So for you, being younger, still coming from New York, where it's, trains, buses, you hear cars, all types of night.
Yelling,
like how was that?
arguing at night.
Right. How was that? How was like that transition? Even though you still kept in touch with your, your roots back in New York, it was still a big change.
Oh, definitely. It was very interesting. I remember when my mom first told me that we were moving to Georgia, and I'm like, I'm young and stupid, so I'm like, I had no idea anything about the South. I had never been to the South, and I'm like, do they know what cereal is in Georgia? She's like, yeah, they know what cereal is. What? But I just had no idea what to expect. So when I got here, I'm not gonna lie. I had some ups and downs. I had ups as far as just being in a new environment, experiencing different things, meeting new people, being in a different school. But I had downs as far as people not really understanding me and me not understanding people.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I first moved here, I was always a good kid, but some people just didn't understand certain things. Like, I never said ma'am growing up. I didn't even know what a ma'am was.
Okay.
So I remember in school, this one time I had a teacher, and she asked me some type of question, and I said, yes. And she was like, yes what? And I was like, yes please? And she was like, no, yes ma'am. Ooh. And I'm like, okay. And I remember going home that night, and I'm like, Mommy, what's a ma'am? And she's like, that's just a form of respect, So it's like I had those type of things where it's like I had to learn the culture, I guess, and like learn the type of respect that people give, and just learn different things. And like back home, even as a kid, you call your friends, your mom's friends by their first name. But here I had to learn that a lot of people don't do that. They call them by their last name. So it's just little things like that I had to learn, and that people had to learn about me. Like, I wasn't a disrespectful kid.
Yeah.
It's just that I didn't know.
You didn't grow up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So before we transition, from New York and stuff like that. What are your thoughts on chopped cheese?
I'm weak.
Go to that bodega.
I don't eat meat. So,
So you don't get it the Aki way.
All this lingo.
Yeah.
I'm so
You want to be from New York, don't you?
Right.
No.
Niggas want to be from New York so
blame
bad.
Instagram and TikTok.
True. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. Yeah, I'm not a bacon, egg, and cheese type of girl. I eat chicken, turkey, and
Over
fish.
what?
That's it.
Chicken over what?
Oh my gosh. I'm not doing
What?
this.
I'm so confused.
I'm not doing
lost.
it. I'm
Chicken
not.
over what?
She
I know
know.
what a chopped cheese is.
She from New York.
I'm
She
not
know.
doing it.
Chicken over
Easy.
rice.
She said easy. I'm weak.
Oh, that's eggs.
All right.
Okay.
Anyways, so I think we'll go ahead and transition because what Summer just said was just ridiculous.
Oh God.
I don't want to dwell on it. I just want to put my head down and just keep moving forward.
All right, we're gonna keep it moving.
Okay.
So with your brand that you have,
Yes.
can you kind of like take us through like your process, like how you executed, and like that journey going into entrepreneurship and,
Yeah, I feel like I'm still on that journey.
Okay.
So this started in 2019. I wanted to do something, but I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Okay.
And to be honest, at that time, T-shirt brands were becoming popular.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, T-shirt brand, but what can I make T-shirts about? Like,
Yeah.
you see people doing certain things, but it's like, I'm an actor. What am I going to make T-shirts about?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was actually talking with my mom. My mom is a huge part of this business because she has given me so many ideas for this business.
Come on, Miss Wendy.
Right. So she actually came up with the name, the Creators Brand.
No, she did.
Yes, she did, sis.
Okay.
Yes. So shoot, I need to start cutting her some checks.
Right. I'm like, cut mom the check.
So I figured, I was like, what can I do for people like me? And I didn't want it to be just actors because I'm like, at the time I had just started working at the Art Institute.
Okay.
So I was teaching I still am there, but I'm teaching in the filmmaking department. So there were a lot of kids there who were getting like these really expensive degrees, but they didn't have support at home. And like their parents are like, yeah, you need to get a real job. And they would, some of them would express that to me. And I'm like, dang, that's messed up. Like, I've always had support at home. I don't know what that feels like, but it sounds like it sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say that because I kind of went through a similar situation, but I had lots of support as well. But I think sometimes it just gets to the point where your parents may not see the vision.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, well, I'm working, I'm paying my bills, you coming and asking me for money.
Yeah.
You might just want to go ahead and get a job
and
worry about that later.
Yeah.
So, I don't think it's not the support, but I think it's like...
it depends.
Yeah,
It depends.
It depends.
I guess I'm
of it
speaking
is-
from my situation.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think it was,
Yeah.
because my parents always supported me in everything.
Yeah, and that's a blessing. That's a blessing. Not everybody has that. And like we were talking earlier, not everyone has like supportive parents or parents who just give their kids what they need in life. So,
Sometimes I think that, not to cut you, but I think that parents try to project their own like insecurities
and fears,
fears onto their children because it's like, I've never seen that work, so let me go ahead and let you know that ain't gonna work.
Right.
You need to get a real job.
Right.
But what's a real job?
Exactly.
Because then once you actually are successful at what you said you're gonna do, then it's, I'm so proud of you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And though that may come off as you didn't believe in me, it's just, I feel like they just
didn't know
they
any
didn't
better.
know.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to like
show
it
Yeah.
and prove it and be like, okay, let me show you what since you can't see it.
Right.
Let me show you.
Right.
And then now you believe.
Then you go,
And for the next time you understand like, oh, this is possible.
Yep.
I think too, I feel like for parents, like when you look at your children, you never want to see them fail.
Yeah.
So it's like if you believe in, what you're doing and trying to chase this dream, but you can't really see it like working out. I think for like parents too, you're looking at it like, all right, maybe you should do something else because you don't want to see that heartache.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't want to see your kid like hurting because then now who they coming to, you got to console them.
Right.
And then it's like, you hate to be like, I told you so.
Right.
But I mean, I feel like as parent, if it don't work out, you might end up saying that,
That's true. That is true too. I think it varies by person. So it's like there's some people who like I personally had students whose parents were just like, you're on your own. You just like you're on your own.
Yeah.
A lot of them didn't even have a place to live. Like
that's tough.
I don't know what they were doing.
Wow.
But yeah, so it's just like they need somebody.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to create like basically like a community of artists where it's just like they feel supported if they don't have it.
Yeah.
And the people who have support, cool. We're going to support each other together and encourage each other together. But especially for the people who don't have it, I wanted them to have somebody or see somebody who's proud of what they do. You know what I'm saying? And like, and not pursuing it, but like timidly, like, oh, this is what I want to do, but I know it's not that great. No.
Be proud.
Yeah. If that's what you want to do, then do it boldly, do it proudly.
Yeah.
And pursue it with all that you got.
Yeah.
And if you are not going to take no for an answer, then you have no option but to succeed.
Yeah.
So that's where the brand came in.
Because like this is a very bold statement.
Yes. So that I started it with excuse me. Get it together.
You need some water?
You know what? This water's sitting right here.
I'm
too.
so confused. I thought you were about to make a bold statement.
I already knew.
It started
I knew
and
it wasn't the setup. It was me struggling for real.
I was ready for the setup. I was like, oh, she about to say something good.
See, this is the drama.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
The natural drama.
Yeah.
So, back to what I was saying.
Yeah.
I wanted to start with a bold statement
Uh-huh.
and tell people that it is a real job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, different jobs, not just filmmaking. I'm sure if people in my industry are feeling this way and are experiencing certain things, or have people who don't understand or who just don't see it, I'm sure there are people in other creative industries. So I'm like, let's not just make this about film. It's about all of us, because being a creator is difficult. It's fun and people see the fun part of it, but it's also hard because it's a different journey than traditional jobs or 9-to-5 jobs take. It's a different journey.
Yeah.
And a lot of us are at it for a very long time. And it's like, it's a type of path that you really have to be passionate about in order to succeed in, because we get a lot of no's. And it's like, you got to keep going.
Yeah.
So what you saying that, because, you know what I'm saying, like, I know me and Summyr have had lots of talks and things like that, late at night, early in the morning, midday, all day, you know, and it's been times that Summyr, she wanted to, you know, stop.
Okay.
My
acting. I just knew where you were going,
well,
but it's funny because I was just about to ask
that's
her.
Why I said she wanted to stop, but like, you know, and I've like encouraged her to keep going. So have you ever been in moments like that where you just been like, all right, I'm done with this, I'm about to just go do something else, and you just wanted to,
as far as acting?
Yeah. You want to know what's funny? I never did until recently.
Really?
Yeah. I never did until recently. I've always been like, it is what it is. This is just monotonous. I'm audition, not get it. Audition, not get it. Then audition and get it. Then audition and not get it. And do the same thing all over again. But recently, towards the end of last year, beginning of this year, I went through a long period where I didn't book anything. And I'm like, come on now. Something's going on, because I know I'm good. And I'm like, I see people out here booking stuff, and and I'm happy for them. I'm clapping for them. But at the same time, it's like, when is it going to be my turn? Because I know I'm not trash. So I kind of did get to a point where I got frustrated recently, and it was just like, all right, I wasn't done. I didn't want to quit, but I'm like, I'm taking a break. I'm mad at acting. That's what I would say. I'm mad at acting right now.
Yeah.
And what's crazy enough is, as soon as I did that, I started booking stuff.
Really?
Yes.
I did that and I still ain't booked nothing.
you know one thing that's funny about that? And it's funny that Summyr said that, because when I was going through a situation, when I was playing sports, whatever, I was trying to get signed to go play overseas or whatever, and I was down on myself. Kind of like you, like, oh, I'm about to give up. And Summyr, she goes, babe, if you go to a restaurant and you order chicken nuggets and fries, that's gonna come out quick, right? And it was like, but if you're ordering that gourmet meal, you gotta sit and wait a little bit longer for yours to come through.
Yes.
So I always try to say that to her, and then just like, you about to give up, and as soon as it's like you about to give up, your plate came.
Yeah.
And you know it was ready for you to eat. So
you had a customized order. Somebody gave me that example. Toya, my best friend's cousin, and when she told me that, I never forgot it. Though I do have my moments, and I guess because I told him, you know, in his down moment, he has to remind me a lot because I'll forget.
Right.
Like, oh, yeah, I did ask for something
customizable. It's easy to do that for other people, but when you try to do it for yourself, yeah. And that's the importance of having a support system.
Yeah. Do you feel like you have that? Like, I know you're building a community for other people. I know you have your mom. Is she your biggest?
She is. I'm not gonna lie.
Fan? Okay.
I have a few people.
Okay.
But it's mainly my mom. Yeah. I always say, like, I know a lot of people and I'm cool with a lot of people, but like those core people, I'm pretty much like a loner when it comes to that. So it's like I do rely on my mom a lot. Yeah. And it's like those moments that are like super hard. Yeah. I don't go to anybody else. Like, I just go to my mom.
Is it because you feel like you can trust her most with that?
I feel like I can trust her most. I feel like she understands me the most. And I feel like, just point blank, she has the best advice to give. I don't want to go to somebody who's my age because they're trying to figure it out too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I just feel like she has more wisdom. Yeah. So why not take advantage of that? Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's so important when you're like entrusting your vulnerability with, you know, when you're having your down moments, even your high moments, you know, to go to somebody that you can wholeheartedly trust your emotions with. Yeah. And even people that sometimes, quote unquote, are close to you, like your friends. I just feel like sometimes, you know, you can have your friends for different things. Like you got your friends that you go out with, you got your friends that you sit at home and chill with, you got your friends you might go shopping with, like whatever. I learned as I got older to categorize my friends. Yep. And I honestly, like you, I don't have a lot of friends. I know a lot of people. Exactly. I'm cool with a lot of people, but I do not call everybody my friend. You know what I'm saying?
You sounded so country when you just said that, my friend.
Well, I am from the South. But, and so I just think that that's so special. Like, it sounds like you keep that circle real small.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I could relate to you because I don't talk to a lot of people about that either. Like, it might be Devon and my mom. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, everybody's not gonna know everything.
Man, I feel like it's definitely a sensitive space as well.
It is.
It is.
Especially like, you know, dealing with art or like your passion or anything like that. Like it can be sensitive because everybody's not gonna get it.
Right.
Exactly.
Which brings me to my next question.
Oh, okay.
So, having different friends and different people that you associate yourself with, I know everybody might not necessarily believe in what you do. So how are you able to separate, you know, what other people think? They might think like, you might as well just go ahead and get you a regular job and work. So how are you able to separate yourself from that and continue to dream big?
I honestly, the friends that I have that are not in creative industries, they're supportive.
That's so cool.
Yeah, like I'm blessed to be around people who just support what I'm trying to do. I don't really have anybody who tries to push me in a different direction or who doesn't really, like the people who don't understand it or who just are not creative at all. It's just like they're rooting for me for over there. Okay. You know, like they're doing what they're doing. I'm doing what I'm doing. Yes, girl, I see you. Keep it up. You know, it's that type of situation. So, I'm blessed to not have anybody in my life who's like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Because you probably wouldn't be around them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have time for that. Yeah. Like, I need good energy.
Yeah. Yeah. So what kind of care do you give yourself dealing with such a tough industry like this? Like, I feel like there's a lot of darkness in this industry, you know? So, and then it's just a lot. Like it's a very vain industry. As much as they say it's not about how you look, sometimes it plays a big part in it. The breakdown. Okay.
A lot of times we cast over how we look, and it has nothing to do with your ability.
Right. They're looking at your headshot first.
Yes. So that's an interesting question. I try not to take myself too seriously. Okay. So it's kind of interesting though, because it's like, this is my passion. I don't have no plan B. So it's serious, but I try not to take myself too seriously. And I try to just accept life for what it is and just know that like whatever God has for me and in whatever way he has it is going to come to pass, because I feel comfortable in the fact that I have a close enough relationship with God so that I can trust whatever it is that he's doing. Even when I don't understand it, it's like, okay, I'm gonna trust you, God. Like, I'm walking with a blindfold on, but I'm gonna just trust. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anytime something doesn't go my way, or if I ever have, like, you know, periods of difficulty or moments of frustration, I'm like, it's all for a reason. It's either, you know, keeping me over here because this is not for me, or it's building something up within me that I'm going to need when I do get to where I want to be. So I kind of just trust and just relax. Like, I don't like to take stuff too seriously. It is what it is. Like, if I really wanted a certain gig and I didn't get it, it is what it is.
So what, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There'll be plenty more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that you view it that way. Well, then, what's your favorite? You like comedy or you like drama?
You want to know something? I used to always think that I could only do comedy just because I'm just naturally
Goofy.
crazy. Yeah, like, but then when I went to grad school, I was like, oh, shoot, I can do drama. Like, I'm kind of good. Okay. So I like both, to be honest. I like both. I find comedy easier and harder at the same time because I had to learn that comedy is all about technique sometimes too. So it's like, it's easy to be funny, but is it going to punch the way it's supposed to punch?
Is it going to translate?
Exactly.
Because that's kind of what we talked about when we watching Def Comedy Jam. It's like, you see some actors on there, and you like, they TV funny. They not stand up comedy funny.
Exactly.
So it's like different.
Exactly. And there's different types of comedy. So it's just like, you know, there's like slapstick comedy. There's like that dead funny, you know. So it's very interesting. I'm comfortable with both. I like both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So like, through the acting journey or any journey, you know, there's always different obstacles and things that you may face. So what's the hardest decision you've had to make so far, like going through this journey?
That's a good question.
It's loaded.
Right. What is
That's
the
what
hardest?
I do.
Load.
The hardest decision I've had to make. You want to know something? I think that I wouldn't necessarily consider this a hard decision, but I would consider it a decision that, like, you have to be sure about and just stand on, is that I'm not going to just take anything. Like, I have a certain way that I conduct myself just as a person, not as an actor, but just as a person. And I feel like, you know, acting is acting. You can play any type of role and it doesn't necessarily have to be you. But there's just certain stuff that I'm just not interested in, especially as like a newer actor who hasn't made it yet. I have a certain tone that I want to set with my career, and there are times where, like, I'll get an audition that pays well, or it's like SAG scale, and it's like, of course you want to take it, you want to build your resume, but it's just, it doesn't sit right with me, so it's like, I'll decline it. And a lot of people, you know, see declining auditions as like, ooh, why are you declining auditions? Like, these are opportunities for us. We should be grateful for everything that we get. And I am grateful. Like, I'm totally grateful for each and every audition that I get. But I just know that there's some stuff that's not for me. And it's just like, it's hard to decline it, and it's hard to think about that money that you could possibly be missing out on. But at the end of the day, it's just like, if it ain't for me, it ain't for me.
Well, what do you think about when you see something and you're like, "Ooh, this is not for me"? What do you, what's making you say no to it? And then, what's that thought process? And then what do you say to your agent or manager?
So, okay, so the thought process.
Like, how you got there?
Right.
Like,
okay. So, like, it depends. A lot of it is usually, so in real life, I don't use profanity at all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So there's certain stuff, and I'm not like, I used to be like, I'll never use profanity, even in acting, I'll never do it. But now, as I've gotten older, it just depends on what the project is. I'm not doing it for no $125 a day.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And there's certain stuff that I would totally take on certain roles for if it is worth it. So I see certain stuff that's just like, you know, and no disrespect to any type of project.
Yeah.
But like, there's certain stuff that is like maybe low budget stuff or certain stuff on certain networks that,
you're good.
I'm good. Yeah. I don't have to do it. And it's just, or like certain things that are like on the promiscuous end of things. It's just not me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not, you could find a better person for this. I'm not even going to be comfortable enough to play the role the way you need me to play it. So, it's certain stuff like that where I'm like, dang, this is a bomb show. Like, this is a really big show. I really want to do it. But at the end of the day, like, it goes back to, like, trusting whatever God has for you. I know that that's not for me.
Because if you look on the screen and you see your boobs out, you like...
Exactly.
Don't watch it.
Exactly. And it's like... And no disrespect to the people who do it. It is something for everybody.
Yes,
it
absolutely.
is... Certain stuff ain't for me.
Yeah.
Just like certain stuff is for me, it may not be for somebody else.
Yeah.
And certain stuff that's for somebody else is just not for me. So I feel like there's a place for everybody.
Yeah.
And so when I get that type of stuff, I'm like... This is a really big show. Like, dang, it'll be cool to book this. I'm like, I'm grateful that I even got an audition for this. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, well, it is what it is, decline.
Yeah.
And I have an agent who is very, like, they're very big on, like, if you're not comfortable with it, you're just not comfortable with it.
Yeah.
And so it is what it is. Like, we're going to keep sending you work, but if you're not comfortable, it is what it is.
Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I think, and my hat goes off to those who are comfortable with that.
Yeah.
I'm not there either. Like, I'm just not. But it's beautiful art to those who are super comfortable with their body and are able to do that. And they're like, I'm good.
Exactly.
I'm like,
and big ups to
yes,
because they're doing their thing too.
Yes.
You know?
Do your thing.
Exactly.
Do your thing.
I think it's better though for you to decline the audition rather than doing the audition, booking, and then once you book, then it's like,
now
I
you
can't
want to
do
back
this.
out. Yeah, exactly.
So I think it's better to go ahead and decline it up front rather than going through like that process, even knowing like, okay, I might not get it, but I'm still going to do this audition. And then if you do book, now it's like, I feel like that would look worse.
And I feel like it sounds like you have a relationship with God. So like, imagine you knowing, that's what y'all have talked about. Like, okay, that's not what Jasmine's gonna do. That's you, right? And then you like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and do this anyway, like go through the process, and then you end up getting it. Now you're in a test, like, so what you gonna do now?
Yep.
And then that's hard, like you said, to back out of it at that point.
And I'm not in the business of wasting anybody's time, mine or anybody else's.
No.
So yeah.
Okay. So bringing us, down to the end here, I got two last final questions for you. Okay. So the first one is going to be, what's the best piece of advice your mother's ever given you?
Ooh.
That's crazy. I thought of that last night. I was like, I want to ask her that.
That's so funny.
Okay.
Okay, let's see, because my mom gives me a lot of good advice.
Yes, Mom.
Let's see. I think I'm going to go with when I was a kid. She's been telling me ever since I was a kid, if the worst they can say is no, go for it. Yeah. If the worst they can do is say no, go for it. Yeah. Wow. And that has, like, stuck with me. Because it's like, a lot of times we're scared or we're nervous or we don't want to be rejected but it's a no. Like, and it's crazy enough that that's what our whole industry is about, like getting no's. So it's like, you really just got to put yourself out there. And if the worst they can do is say no, so be it. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, hold on. Like, I just want to know, okay, did she tell you that before you started acting?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who
when
knew?
I was a little kid.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Mom's name Wendy, right?
Yes.
Yes, Wendy.
Shout out to mommy.
And then, the last question that we have for you is, what's an area in your life that you're constantly growing at?
Ooh, child. I'm gonna be really real with y'all. The area of my life that I am most growing in is discipline. Discipline for sure. Discipline and consistency. Because I feel like that has held me back a lot. I feel like I could have been, we always feel like we could be so much farther at this, at that. Yeah. That's my thing. Like, I feel like I could be so much further in life if I had more discipline and more consistency. Because it's like, it's easy to just get lazy.
Yeah.
Or not want to put in the work, or feel like you're putting in that, telling yourself you're putting in enough work, but you're really not.
Yeah.
So I think that's the area that I'm constantly growing in.
Discipline and consistency.
Yeah.
Those are major.
Yeah.
I feel like there's probably a lot of people that can relate to that.
Yeah.
Discipline and consistency.
Yeah.
It feels like that's the name of the game.
Okay.
Whew.
Really?
Well,
no, I feel like that's big though, because when things aren't going your way, or it's easy to not be consistent anymore. It's easy to be like, well, it's not working anyway. I posted something, I got 30 likes.
Right.
I ain't posting tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
But then that consistency comes in, and discipline comes into it as well, because you have to be disciplined. Like people that post multiple times a day and they got like a lot of great content, it's like, how do you do that?
Right.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're like batching their content in
I think
day.
they are.
That's a lot of discipline.
And creating a schedule and just having that discipline to write everything out.
Yeah.
Execute it. And,
I guess if you want it bad enough, you'll do it.
Yeah.
And I'm telling myself that too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just like, we say we want it, but how bad do we really want it?
I know.
What are our actions showing?
And you know what? I heard somebody say, I think it was on another podcast, and I heard this, one of the podcasters. I don't want to butcher her name, but she said, Lord, I lost it.
That's what she said?
God, no.
I'm done.
God is not going to change his mind about you. Right? So it's kind of, Megan from the Know For Sure podcast. I don't know if you watch that, but
no.
So she was like, I think God told her, I'm not going to change my mind about you. So you might as well get it together.
Dang.
You know what I'm saying? You're going to go through your emotions, and we're all going to have emotions. We're going to ebb and flow through life. We're going to feel down sometimes. We'll feel really, really up. And those emotions are going to come and go.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't change what he told you.
Yeah.
And what he's shown you.
Yeah.
So if God is not going to change his mind about you and what you're doing, it's like, you better get with it.
Yeah.
Like, we better get with it.
Yeah.
We better do what we got to do.
You want to do it now, or you want to take forever to get it done?
Yeah.
Because it ain't going to change. Yeah.
You waiting on that.
That's real. I love that.
Yeah.
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 Facts. All right. So where can, our listeners connect with you? You gave your website earlier, give that to us again, and then like social media, anything like that too.
Okay. So you can find The Creators Brand at www.thecreatorsbrand.com. You can also find The Creators Brand on Instagram at The Creators Brand. Then you can find me personally on Instagram at Jasmine Ahnie. That's the normal way, Jasmine, Jasmine. Ahnie is Ahnie. It's like Annie with an H.
Yes.
And for our New York people, let's give them a Europe one time. Europe. Take us out, Summer. Take us out.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, man, if I was constantly growing at anything, it would be that, and also time management.
Amen. Because you saw I was late today.
No, but you know what? I wasn't even thinking about that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about myself.
That's one of my weaknesses, though. One of my biggest weaknesses, time management. So I feel you on that.
I feel you. Mine too. Like, he is a stickler.
Really?
Yeah. And
that's good. Y'all got balance then, because who child?
Girl, I would have said that same text you sent
It's
me.
rough out here.
Shoot.
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is, because you have
neither.
the intention to like
every intention.
be on schedule,
every intention,
and do everything, and it start. I'm the same way, and I feel like that's so huge for us too. Like, in this industry, your time, your time
is money.
Yeah.
And I be wasting.
They could be late,
right,
but we can't,
right?
And not even just that, like balancing time, but just trying to figure out like how do I utilize my time wisely, like prioritizing things. That's something I'm growing at. Like,
me too.
Ooh, it's a lot going on, and just not getting overwhelmed and like, okay,
yes.
Because you got to get it done.
Yeah.
You got to get stuff done.
And not get stuck.
Yeah. And not get stuck.
Because I have a tendency to, when I feel overwhelmed, and I just shut down, I don't do anything.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's not helping.
Right. That's not helpful. It's still there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
What are you constantly growing at?
I would say I'm constantly growing at.
Or in. Constantly growing in. What area?
I would like to say that I'm constantly growing at.
Oh.
I would say, just staying positive, and just, just keep continuing to just move forward each and every day and not just get stuck in complacency.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So yeah.
Okay. All right, you guys. So we had an amazing episode with Miss Jasmine Ahnie, entrepreneur, model, and actor. So make sure you go to her site, support her business, because I'm sure you can find something on there you can relate to one of these industries, okay? So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you again in the next episode.
Like, follow, subscribe, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Constantly Growing Pod. And make sure you let at least 5 to 10 people know about our podcast. Share it with them, because you never know how something just as small as this or as big can change somebody's life.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Yeah. Amen. Okay. Amen.